Hey guys, I figured I would just make a screen review of just like some things that I saw of during our game on Thursday. Um, I'm not any kind of amazing authority on it. I just thought, I would just walk through, explain a lot of things like how forces are working and changing throughout, how our offense is developing throughout the game. So as I go through, I want to say again that I love our team. I really appreciate all the work everybody's putting in, and these concepts are difficult to learn. So, if I call someone out by name, that's definitely not anything personal, and I definitely do appreciate everything that you guys are doing. So let's get started here. Um, Yep. So as we were going, I actually was recording for 45 minutes and realized that I was recording a blank screen, which felt bad. So I can tell you in advance, I'm going to be dogging on myself a lot during this because I've been sick. If you can't tell by how sick I sound, so I've been bad. So I was playing very sluggish. So right now, just taking a look at what we're set up with here. We have Palms here setting up a flick force, which our sideline is over here. So this is the home sideline. The away sideline is over here. So we're forcing away. So this is the break side of the field. And then this is the open side of the field. So then as we're positioning ourselves, as like I'm coming across here, can you see my cursor, Matt? Okay, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so as I'm coming here, I'm attacking this open side of the field. I'm positioned more behind him than what normal people would, but I'm also at a height disadvantage, so I have to stay behind him and take advantage of my agility and speed. But so normally I would want somebody standing a little bit more on that open side, but for how short I am, that's all I have to work with. You see TJ's got that power stance on the forced side of Allison, so Allison really has nowhere to go. And one thing that we can see here is seeing that the forced side of the field is over here. Oh, my cursor just broke. All right, there we go. This is the open side of the field then. We see Elizabeth here who's on the break side of her receiver. What I would love to see is her standing over here, which will make it a lot easier for her to defend. Because right now, her receiver, and this guy, I don't know his name, but he was lighting it up low-key. Like, this guy's actually a beast. But he's making a cut to that break side of the field right now, which is going to be an open, uncontested throw. So right now, Elizabeth is going to have to run all the way around him in order to make a play. Whereas if she were positioned in front of him, this would be a lot less effort required to go and cut that off. Another note that I don't remember this guy's name, but he is clearing me out of the play, so I'm not going to be able to help with that. So we should see this develop. Yeah. So that throw did go up. The throw is behind, but the throw did come up to the field there. And then right here, once again, we can see that this guy wants to make... so basically, there's a cut called a strike cut. It's basically from about even to slightly in front of the thrower on the break side, making a cut up behind that mark into that open space. That's called a strike cut. If you can take away every strike cut in a game, you've done good defense in the game. There's really no way around it. Sorry, I'm sick, so I'm going to be hacking and sneezing and coughing. But so yeah, so this strike cut is going to happen a lot. So in general, positioning yourself to take away that strike cut is generally beneficial. Even if you're going to concede some kind of a round, it's always better to take away that strike cut. And you can see here, for example, what's up?
I was gonna say, based on where we're at too, we're so close to the sideline that I think it's almost just as important or more important to really hold that force tight. It's tempting to he's not in front right now, but he's leaned a little towards the front. I would almost rather see him take a step to the break side to really emphasis that force, really cut off that half of the field, make sure he can't get around there. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the window break, the open window, the open side of the field to cut to is just this little tiny corner here. So if we can really force it to just this corner, right, that one there, that really narrows it down.
Yep, that's a good point. What Palms is doing here is actually surprisingly the correct play. just for the fact that right now Pat has something called power. So Pat made the cut here. He comes and makes a cut here. Right here, this is called a power position where he has the disc. He has free reign of that open space because Palms is behind him. So any like a veteran receiver will immediately attack that space. So what Palms is doing, at least I assume that's what he's doing. What I would do here is over adjust for about one stall or two stalls to take away that first look and give my defense a couple seconds to catch up and make a play. But then you want to do what Matt just said. Absolutely. You want to come back and play that honest into the sideline. So, yep. And then you can see, like, I was actually, because I had to, because I recognized the power, so I over pursued this defense here, which was my mistake and actually led to what should have been a score. Yeah, but you can see that Palms, by over pursuing that, actually cut off that strike. And me, by over pursuing, actually gave him a hammer to the other side of the field. And especially because I'm short, there's no way I'm doing anything about that. I could have ran a lot harder there, for the record. He dropped it.
Those are throws we typically, I don't want to say allow, but like if they're willing to make those throws, those are very hard throws and those are high risk throws for them. So those kind of, I don't say they're allowed throws, but if we're choosing which throws to take away, we're letting them take the high risk throws, which is like that crazy hammer to the break side corner. If they're gonna do those, there's not a ton we can do to stop it, but that's also a high risk throw. So we're kind of like if we're choosing which ones to give them, we're giving them the throws that are most difficult.
Yep. So they have basically four areas to attack here, that are like the force side space, back behind on the force side, the around break, and then the over the top hammer. So we're gonna generally prioritize this one because that's the play to do. So yeah, you can see I definitely, this whole game I was playing very sluggish. I was rather sick at the time. I probably shouldn't even been playing, but it's okay. So I definitely was not. So as we're coming up here, we're going into our vert stack. Just again to demonstrate like exactly what our vert stack is. Then you see that he's putting a right hand flick force. So this whole side of the field is the break side of the field. So the open space is all of this, which is why we line up like that. We want to be able to take advantage of that open space. And we actually have another lane here that we can cut to. A good thrower or a taller thrower, because I'm short, will be able to attack this space pretty easily. And you can see that their defense, every person is lined up on the forced side of our stack, making it difficult for us to come in and make a cut into that space. So as this is starting, yeah, Palms makes an immediate cut. Pat was playing over the top of him and kind of made it open. I made a throw to him. Maybe I shouldn't have thrown that. It was close to the sideline. However, with the 7-second stall, you don't have as much luxury as you do in a full open field, so we're going to let that go. So the second the Palms catches this, we can see here that Matt is already initiating his cut, which is great. That's what we want to see. So basically right now, Matt is about at his decision point where he needs to decide whether he's going to be cutting in for an under Pats or go deep for a longer gain. So in probably about 1 second of playtime, we're going to see his decision point. At this moment here, our stack can look to shift upfield more. And I need to be, and this is something I'm going to be dogging myself a lot later. I was playing as if we're playing with sevens on an open field where I'm playing way more stagnant in the handle set than I should be. Also because I was feeling awful, but it happens. So
and before you hit play, I will say I'm looking at his position now, and I realized I was looking at the wrong. I saw him catch the disc, and I was keeping my eyes on him to see where kind of he was, if he was going to lead me in or out, like if he was looking deep for me or not. But what I should have looked at is my defender's hips, because if I look at his hips, he is clearly set up to go deep. He is completely facing the opposite end zone. So if I were to make a decision based on this information, I can see, yeah, right there, I can see that he is facing the other way. So the right move is to cut in because he has to turn completely around, and that really stops his momentum, and I can keep going with mine to try to get open there. So based on that, oh, I did do that. Okay.
Yep, you
I
did a
didn't. I
great
didn't.
cut.
I didn't think I looked there. I thought I went deep there, but looking at his hips, I could see his face there, so I know that I can get open. It's not as. It's not. I'm not going to get as many yards because I'm cutting in, but I could see that his hips were facing the other way, and he had to completely stop. So I have. He was right on me. Now I have a whole step on him, and he hasn't even completely stopped yet.
Yep. So right here, what you do, Matt, here is you end your cut too early. You have like you've won your rep, but based on reading the space, which I'm trying to without making the video 3 hours long, I try to explain as much as I can here. So the mark is he's forcing a true sideline here. So the space that we have to cut with is that.
Right. I should have gone more at an angle towards the wall because I think I was going too far, too straight at him, and I knew that by the time I got into that zone, I was like way too close to him. So I think that's why I bailed out early.
That's fine. So yeah, two things should be happening here. Number one, I would like to see, yeah, like what you said, getting more of a horizontal angle to get some yards. But you actually disengaged your cut before you actually reached that open space, so he couldn't throw it to you. And I think the most important thing is I am staying stagnant this whole time, whereas this is a 7 stall count, so I need to be going immediately. And what I talked about later in the video, for the first time I recorded, is I would like to see, and this is something that TJ has been talking about that didn't click in my brain until I watched this game, is not having a dedicated handler sitting around, because with 7s in stall set, or with a 5 on the field in stall 7, it's difficult to work with. So what I want to see me doing after I make that completion is to take off, either make a sharp hard cut upfield, make a strike, and then back to the stack to open up this space, because as is, and you're about to see right here, you break off your cut too early, so he can't throw it to you. And I'm not cutting. I'm 3 full seconds late on my cut, and that is all me. And right here, it actually, you're looking at me. So I see Matt looking at me to see what the space is. The fact that I'm here, I'm blocking all the space, and most importantly, this defender is taking up all the space. So TJ can't make a cut. Matt cannot make a cut. I have to make this cut because I've positioned myself here. I'm the only person to make this cut, and I don't in time. I do like on stall 6, and yeah, because that was a punt. That really wasn't anything that Elizabeth did wrong. She actually made a good cut. It was just there was just no time to wait for it. So once again, I actually am conceding this open side space because this guy's taller than me. So this is kind of a theme. This might not be the most educational because most people aren't undersized like I am, but I'm playing on top of him at all times, basically. And if Pat had winded up to throw this, I would have used my agility to get under him and break that up. So that's why Pat didn't do that. We played Summer League together, so he knows that I have that, but I was baiting that. That's what I do. Break throw goes up. You don't like break throws, but I mean, they happen. That's okay. Excellent. Good by Palms there. Yeah, so right here then, once again, we have the, and this is going to sound like I'm beating a dead horse because obviously we can't adjust to anything while I'm doing it. So this is not dogging on anyone, but we can see that the break side is here. And we can see here, for example, Elizabeth is on the break side. Whereas if we have her up in front of this, that throw is not able to go up, which is, it's just a good learning point here. And then that throw was nasty over the center there. So there's nothing we can really do there. I don't think I can fast forward in Opera. No, I can't. Rip. Yeah, I can just skip like this, so.
You might be able to use left and right arrow to skip forward like 5 seconds or something. I don't know.
I cannot. This isn't a video viewer. If I used a video viewer, the name pops up like all on the bottom of the screen every time I pause, and it's so annoying. So right here, we actually had a, this is the first point. Nobody came under for me because we didn't talk in advance about who was going to be the first cut. So that was good. We worked that out afterwards. I don't want to beat a dead horse on that. So Matt makes a good cut here. And right here, we see Palms is here. Pat is here. So Palms has all of this free real estate, which is great. Also, looking at this, we can see that I don't know his name. I want to give this man some respect because this dude was going hard in the paint this
I
whole.
was about to say he is like right. He is in the perfect location for defense, where
Yeah,
he is totally blocking off a
yeah.
lot right there.
This dude's a monster. But
By being
so Aaron right now is poached. I didn't know when I first recorded this that it was Aaron, but I'm cheating using my second playthrough knowledge. So yeah, Aaron is poached right now. I think that's her right there, because Allison's on Elizabeth. But yeah, so the good throw going up. If you put a little more, he could have scored. But at the same time, I'm not ever going to fault somebody for not throwing it quite far enough because it's a tight field.
A safe throw that's slightly short over a risky throw that
Yep.
You're more likely to drop or not get where you.
Yep, exactly, Matt. So right here, Pat did really good defense. When you are the last person back, someone catches deep, you do not put on a mark. So what Pat did was he just dropped off and picked up the first imminent threat, which in this case was Aaron. She's open right now. She's poached because two people are on Elizabeth right now. But Pat's taking that away, so Palms has no choice but to look her off, despite her making the correct cut. So I came in there. So sluggish. That was way closer than it needed to be. I could have just sprinted and been fine, but I was sick. It happens. Going through something that I do wrong here. First of all, I was just jogging down. Again, I had a bad night as far as that goes. So right here, forcing flick, and I'm doing a sideline force without thinking about the space. So a sideline force gives him the open side of the field being like all of this. Whereas what I would like to see myself do is come down and actually force him into that curved wall because nobody is making a cut right there. And then he doesn't have downfield. You can see right here, I conceded that throw where I could have been positioned to take that away and not let that throw come up. Palms and Matt both had good positioning on the open side. It had to be a high throw to get over that traffic, and that's why it was an incompletion. Palms did an amazing job. Catch your D's, because he probably would have recovered, because he's actually a pretty good catcher. Matt, so yeah, you guys did good. So Matt's in no man's land here as soon as Palms catches it, because he has to keep playing honest until he knows it's an incompletion. So Matt clears out this way, which is the correct play, despite normally not. Also, you see right now, right here, he's putting on a flat mark. He's actually not forcing anything right now. So normally, Erin would be in a position where she wants to get back to the stack, but she actually could, if she wanted, continue up here and get that around because it's a flat mark. But it's neither here nor there. So this is one of the cases where we did not set our offense quickly. I came sluggishly from the back. We got two people out in what normally would be the open space. So this causes some problems.
I recognize it was a flat mark, and there was nobody over there he could throw to. So I tried to jump back where I would if I were a second handler, because I knew that position was the hole behind him was all open because of the flat mark.
Yep, and this is a position. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's correct. This is the case here where I don't mean to be going too aggressive. I did this before, so I remembered what I was talking about. So Matt makes this catch here. Right here, I'm the last back. I don't recognize this. I was feeling awful, so I should have been making better cuts in general, but that's okay. Right here, I am in line with Pat. Pat is taller than me, but I am significantly faster when I'm going full sprint. So I'm straight in line with him. So at this instant, I need to be going full sprint down the field as hard as my little legs will take me. And I don't believe I do. I make an undercut because Pat goes to take that away from me, thinking I'm going to. But I that's what I should have been doing. So yeah, undercut's not open just because actually a pretty good mark by James, I think his name is. He was actually forcing straight up to take everything there away, which then forces us to get a look upfield, either by like someone like Aaron coming back or you coming around, which was you coming around. So that's all good. Yeah, I made a cut to the break side there because, and I can't back up conveniently, so it is what it is. In the other software I could, but it also went black. So right here, I just recognize that I'm in the open space. I want to get out of the open space. Pat is behind me and over top me. So if I were to just take off this way, even though I'm still, that was not a sprint, but yeah, if I go there, it's going to be free. And moving the field to the break side is always beneficial. So I can't really see things well here. Normally, Aaron made a great cut. Normally, I would throw that, but Pat just has longer arms than me, and I wasn't 100% sure I wouldn't get hand blocked. So I do want to put credit where it's due. That was the correct cut. That was just me being a shorty that I didn't throw that.
Question for mine though. I know you can't back up very conveniently. Back up just a couple seconds here. So yeah, play from here. Once the disc gets swung to you, right here. So my reaction here, I wanted to get out of the open area, so I kind of backed up at first. My defender just kind of poaches, hangs out in that middle area. I sprinted back to try to get the dump cut open since he wasn't on me. Would you rather I book it deep to pull that guy out of there? I'm not sure the best play in this scenario, but watch where my defender is there. See him.
So you have two options here because yeah, you're absolutely correct. What I'm gonna do if I'm guarding you is stand here and just poach the frick out of this space and not let anything go up. So you have two options: either a hard clear out, either deep or break side and then deep. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glance up field, look at what cuts are actively happening, and then do the clear that least conflicts with that cut. You know, like if TJ's coming around here, I'm not going to come this way. I'm going to make a strike this way potentially. Or, you know, if TJ is right here, I might just actually get out of the way. But, or you can make a cut around and behind me and make a completion here for a little break side gain. Get the disc even farther on the break side. In the fives, I was defaulting to this option way more than I should have been during this game.
Right.
And that's the coaching point. Yeah, so then he's just sitting there poaching that space because from his perspective, if you get this completion, he's fine with that. We're losing 5 yards. We're centering it, but we're losing 5 yards. We're moving towards the four side. They always want us to move towards that four side of the field.
Right, and I'm recognizing that he's taking away a lot of the field by standing there, and that is like the perfect position for the defender to be in.
Yeah, because that prevents this pass. So yeah, what you could do is clear. Probably what we're going to want to be doing in general is clearing out more. Kind of like what TJ was saying with his wisdom. That I guess the pass went up either way. So you did a good job getting him out of the way. When James is in your face, he's a big boy. That's a lot of
tall.
He's a big boy. I can't see anything. You'll see me later. I look pathetic. I'm trying to just see around him and I can't see anything and it's terrible. Yeah. So anyway, we're getting back to the stack pretty slow. Good looks as far as that goes. We can't see much, so I'm just gonna kind of let this pass. I threw him right into the wall. That was definitely. I forgot that the wall curved, and it was just that was a me problem. I think I did it dirty later on too, thinking I was playing outdoor. Look at those twirls, by the way. Look at the throw. Look at that finesse. All right, I'm just stalling for time. All right. All right, so right now, we actually have a backhand force. Generally, we want to be forcing flick. So we're pushing our defender, or pushing our thrower towards that open side, which is going to be, in this case, forcing home. We want to be standing over here forcing home, which then, having this be like this, it actually puts a lot of us out of position. Like TJ is on this side of his receiver, whereas his receiver gets a free cut this way. Just something to bear in mind. She looks him off. I wouldn't have looked him off, but yeah, and see right there, I was horribly out of position too because we weren't on the same page on what the mark was. Now, to be fair, I think during this game, I called out the mark like maybe the force maybe twice. So I think that's something that like I need to improve on as well. I was not communicating like, hey, we're forcing home this point, so that I take responsibility. Oh, it was a bad throw. Hey, look at that. They didn't give me a D for that either. Feels bad. It wasn't a D though. Yeah, so here, I guess can't see anything. But yeah, they're forcing us flick. Yeah, Matt made a good cut to that open space, which is why it was free, and they gave it to us. It was the right look at Elizabeth. Matt just threw a little high. It's okay. That happens. I had plenty of those. Yep, so then that was the correct mark that time, which is good. That guy's just tall as fricks. You gotta respect that deep. I was taking that rep off because I don't know why. I could have contested that. So right now, they're not really doing any offense right now. They're kind of just playing backyard ultimate, which is why there's not much to talk about here because, yeah, so what this is a good thing of what I did wrong. So he's coming up, and I let him, my hips are completely the wrong way here. I need to be sitting over top of him, either having my hips deep or under. So my hips are just entirely the wrong way, which is why I just gave this up for free. Almost got it just because I had some speed, but I shouldn't have needed it. That was a deep cut there. It's kind of hard between like what are you going to give him, the deep or the under. So that actually, I don't think that was Elizabeth's fault or anything. That was just that guy. He doesn't look intimidating, but he plays intimidating. He's a beast. All right, so yeah, so right here we're right in our vert. I actually cleared up field this time, which is the better play to make. I didn't run up field. I just kind of lightly jogged. Matt has a favorable matchup. James is guarding super deep here. So looking, I guess, to look at the fields, I'm kind of rambling. What do I do with my thing? There we go. So the force here is forcing us flick. So this is the break side of the field. The other side is the open side of the field. Our two lanes that we can cut into are here and here. We can see that Matt is attacking that space aggressively right now, and the other Matt is about to, which is good. Maybe Matt didn't. That's fine. I cut off Elizabeth really bad there, but I also didn't see her there. I don't know if that was me being bad or not. Elizabeth made a great cut there. Yeah, so Elizabeth technically had right of way there. We both got fronted or backed super hard by these guys. So, yeah, Elizabeth definitely, that was a great cut by you. Good job. I took it away from you, but that was 100% like yours. And every time I catch it, break side, that wasn't anything at Elizabeth. Anytime that I catch a break with power, I turn around and fake that hard throw no matter what. Because if there's a defender in my face, it'll pressure them to over pursue. So that actually, I didn't even see Elizabeth there when I did that. So that was not that was not directed at you in any way. So right now, again, I'm just jogging out of that set, and I'm not a fan of that. We got a nice vert going here. So right here, Matt doesn't like the cut that he has, and he's clearing deep. And Allison is behind Matt here, so this is a chance for Matt. If he wants to get an under, it's going to be a free under, which is exactly what he does. Good for you. And then drops it. I think he has another drop this point. Feels bad.
Easy come, easy go.
Easy come, easy go. Yeah, that was just a greedy throw. I guess not to be picking on Elizabeth here, but this is something we can work on. Is staying on. Actually, she actually wasn't completely wrong there based on the force. So that was a backhand force by Matt. So that actually was just open the whole time. So we'll let that one go. Yeah, we needed to work on our force in general then. I didn't notice that the first time I was watching. So I don't know if we're doing a side stack here, but yeah. So a good early cut. Something to pay attention to is that Pat is poaching here. I saw him poaching and decided to throw it anyway. That's going to put more pressure. Palms recognizes this and takes advantage of the fact that now he is poached, which means that there's no defender actively guarding you, so you can cut anywhere you want. So Palms kind of has the option. If he wants to cut mega deep right now, he could just book it if he wanted, but the safer play, especially with the stall 7, is to come around and get it. So Pat comes over. I knew Pat wasn't going to get there in time. I think the fact that the wall was there probably is what had your eyes pulling up from the disc, which is why you drop that, which is fine. Maybe I shouldn't have thrown that. It's kind of just part of like catching and throwing is all about knowing what your receiver can, is comfortable with and
Right,
not.
that's where our open space was with where he was poached. But yeah, I did not. I looked up before I caught the disc, and that's on me.
Yep, and we give up a lot of break throws. We eventually just give up on marking, so that is what it is. That was just a disorganized defense there, which I think once we get more comfortable with the open side, close side principles, I think that'll be an issue that we don't need to really talk about. It'll just kind of be fixed. So right here, for those last second and a half, all three of us are right next to each other, which is not ideal. We want to be a little bit more spaced out up the field. So, I should be here. Matt should be like here. I think that's Palms should be like, here, just farther apart. That way, when we make a cut, we're not going to draw a pick because this is pick city waiting to happen. Also, all three of us, I think I was the worst offender here. All three of us were lightly jogging when we're already at stall 3, maybe 4 of this possession. So Aaron's looking upfield like, is someone going to cut for me? And we're all like, no. So, feels bad. Yeah, so, yeah, that was just a drop. But honestly, the throw should have been a lot easier. The cut should have been a lot easier. We just weren't doing effort. My cat is in front of my screen. Okay. Can't really see anything here to talk about. Good job by Matt attacking that forced side, that open space there. That's why I got that D. We got excited. That happens. Not much to really talk about with that. Yep, so right here, there's a good roll in coverage. So Matt's guy is going deep. He says, TJ, pick him up. I don't want to deal with that. And then he just goes and picks up his guy. He made some good cuts, though, this game. He was hard to guard. So I actually completely abandoned my guy, who was farther downfield, and ran up here just to poach the space. And the reason my hips are so far under is because I'm watching, and if I see him come up here, then I'm going to stop getting out of the lane and go back and guard him again. But if he's not going to sprint downfield, I'm not going to respect him as far as, as a viable threat. So just to explain what I did. Yep, so again, it's a flick force. I made that a little bit scarier than it needed to be, but that's okay. Great. And this is an example of a great break side cut by Aaron. Don't be afraid to make that break side cut. Even though you're not going to get it as much, it opens up space. And whenever, especially right as a swing is happening, that's a great time to make that cut. So right about now, I think Erin is starting her cut, and that's why I'm able to throw it. Because she saw the swing was happening, so she's like, I can get open here, and she did. So good for her on that. Allison's forcing straight up here, which didn't give much. This is one of the cases where I actually got behind in a good spot, which didn't happen all that much. I shaky throw to Matt, but Matt was there for it. So right now, our offense is kind of not too much of an offense. Their marks, a lot of the marks in this game take a while to set up normal. But right here is where our vert is. I'm sluggish behind. I think I might actually be doing a cut across. But I guess we'll see what happens here. Yeah, TJ and I had a miscommunication there, which we both should have been attacking that disc. But yeah, it's hard when there's not aggressive cuts. Our cuts kind of stalled out, and my handling wasn't there to help. And we can't really see much, so it's not much to... right there, I left TJ on an island there. I did a switch, and I didn't explicitly call out switch, or roll. So TJ was late to see it, but that was actually me leaving him out to dry on that. I just remember that happening. I didn't see it happen. Yep, so, yep, we're in a vert. It's a couple seconds later than what I would like to see cuts start, but it's okay. Great cut by Matt just to get behind there. Another time where a break side cut is good. We didn't gain very many yards, but we're on the break side now, which is definitely...
I also lined up kind of deep there, too. we should have lined up the stack closer to the thrower.
Yep, and just real quick for how we played this. How we played this. I think this was
I
pretty
had my
good.
hand up, so I was trying to set the stack, but I was way too far up to set the stack.
So I looked up field. Yeah, you're correct, Matt. I looked up field, especially as we gained yards. The stack's really deep, so I was like, I don't want to make a deep cut right now. I mean, I didn't make deep cuts anyway, but he was coming up field because he was poaching that lane the whole game. So whenever he did that, I just took a few steps over, got the disc back, reset the stall count. This is a trick that handlers do all the time. So if you're ever guarding a handler, pay attention to this. The handler will throw it, immediately go strike. That is the play. And it didn't perfectly work out. Matt made a great cut there. Well, I guess Matt Amabile made a great cut there. Other Matt did the right play though, because that one, even though he didn't get it, he cleared all of the space. So you can see that now this defender's getting pulled. You see Pat looking at that. He got pulled by that too. So there's just huge open space there. That was a good catch. Only reason that Aaron wasn't open there is because the mark overcommitted to stop it, but she made a great cut back. And I didn't overlap that cut like I did with Elizabeth, so nice. Yeah, so Palms is running his butt off. I'm jogging, so I apparently can't be bothered when I'm sick, so feels bad. This is the case. Hold up. He was not in. Look at that. This is rigged. But when Allison's going deep, this is something where the help call, we definitely could have had one of our guys come back and help with that. Is that in? That is questionable. Whether that is in or not, I'm not a game. Yeah, see, I don't know if that's in. That's close. Anyway, I don't mean to get off topic there. It is.
That second hop, I didn't. I mean, I couldn't see it. I was right there. Wasn't looking at it, but
No, I'm not salty. I'm just heckling Allison because we're friends. I can do that. But yeah, questionable, questionable feat. What are you gonna do? Excuse me. I might go through and edit out all of my coughing. I'm coughing a lot less today than I did last night, so it's probably good that I recorded a black screen. All right, so right here, we're getting cut once again. If I can form words, our stack is very, very tight. We're very close together, which gives two problems. Number one, for example, if Palms were to make any kind of cut, it's very easy to draw a pick. And also, it gives the defense a unique opportunity where they can really just kind of bracket and suffocate the stack because we're all huddled together. So what I would like to see is us spaced out more. So like, Matt's here, which is a reasonable spot for Matt to be starting. Like maybe like Elizabeth back here and then Palms back here. That way we actually get a better chance to read our defenders and make them play a little bit more honest. I probably could have thrown that, looking at that. I think I just need to be more confident with my throws in general when there's a tall person marking me. Because she was definitely open. That was a great cut by Elizabeth. He had his arm out, which is why I holstered it. But credit to Elizabeth, that was a good cut. Unfortunately, with the time, I don't think I actually... whenever I make those kinds of decisions, I try to tell people after the point so they get that positive feedback. Like, that was a good cut. So, going back here. Yeah, Matt did a good job there, just taking advantage of the defender being flat foot. Elizabeth and myself both needed to be doing something there. Neither of us were cutting. We're both kind of just jogging into nowhere. So that was not good. I ended up getting it and looking good, but that was me looking bad and playing bad. And I'm a little bit all over the place right now, but this is a case of something Elizabeth and I talked about after the game. She was being a little bit hesitant where she's recognizing open space, but then she's not confident to make that cut. So I told her, be confident, because she has great position on Allison. She's making the great cut, but then she was pulling up a little bit, so she wasn't there. So excited for next week, because I feel like she's going to be able to do that, because she's seeing the open space. But that was that turnover. I also probably shouldn't have thrown it. I got that D there. I guess I don't know if it's worth really going into the technique on how I did that, because I was completely checkmated there as far as throws. But I pushed into his chest really hard, so that if he took any steps farther than what he should have, I would be in position, which he did. But I relied on him making a mistake there. That's the only reason I got that D. So yeah, it
You
is what
look
it is.
tall.
Yeah, I look tall. I'm short. This matchup makes me sad. Look at that height difference, dude. I'm like eye contact with his nipples right now. It's horrible. All right, so right now we have. I just swung it. We have a revert stack that's kind of all over the place. So right now we need the cuts to be happening. Probably a second ago is when one of these two should have been starting to do something. Because here we're very stagnant. It's been several seconds. What I did here was as if I was playing like a club. Like I pointed, which is like I'm telling him, hey, just throw it to me, I'll go get it. But we didn't talk about that in advance, so it's just me holding my arm out like an idiot. But whenever I do hold my arm out, what I'm trying to communicate without having communicated it is just, hey, just go put it in space.
I'm seeing too. Look at the guy guarding me with the hat. He is way poached off me. You'll see me. I'll take a couple steps in. I'll realize he's way too poached. He's got me beat. So I'll kind of cut back out to force him to drag out of there. But what I should have done is just gone straight deep from behind, like behind the stack, because he's too far off to call that like a pick. He's way off me.
Yeah.
I should have just booked it deep from behind the stack, and I think that would have, based on how far poached my guy is, I think that would have been the right play for me to make there. I would have maybe got open that way.
Yep. I agree. The problem right now is if this.
I was watching him. My eyes are on the thrower. I don't even see him until I start making a cut in, and then I see like, oh shoot, I'm way off. So I need to be more cognizant of that.
Yeah, the problem is if this were stall 1, I'd be like, all right, we need to be hurry up and cutting. But this is like stall 4 or 5. So this was a rough one as far as our positioning goes. Once again, our stack's pretty tight, and you can actually see them very consciously take advantage of that. So all right. So yeah, you can see. Excuse me. Yeah, they're very consciously, like Pat's actually pointing, communicating what they're doing. They're very much bracketing us right now. They're giving no respect to the break side because there's no break side throw right now because we're too far over. So that's what makes it difficult, because I assume what Pat's telling him is you take the first under, I got the first deep. That's what I would be doing if I were in their situation, which is what they do, and TJ does a good cut to take advantage of it. And right here then, yeah, so when we're in this position here then, we need some aggression from me especially. This is the part where in my last time I did it, I spent like 5 minutes just hating on myself here. But to cut it short, I'm being so sluggish right here. I'm not doing anything helpful, and it's horrible. And this I personally caused this next turnover. So I need to be going because, you know, Elizabeth does make a good cut. She needs to finish it. However, at this point, it's too high in the stall count, and it's kind of just game over. Oh, maybe this isn't the one I was thinking of, but I'm being super sluggish during this anyway, and I didn't help. Oh, there's a stall. So yeah, never mind. This was the one that I caused because I just wasn't there in time, and TJ had nothing. I think he forgot it was stall 7. Yeah, so TJ drops there, which is good. Their offense is very freeform. I didn't notice it during the game. Give me a fall. I didn't even notice that. I might buy a new pair of indoor cleats. My indoor cleats, they make me feel bad.
Oh my god, yeah. You and I had the same cleats, and they are completely smooth in the bottom.
Yeah.
For 30, $40, I absolutely would go buy new, because I looked at, we bought our cleats like what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that, a long time ago. And yeah, that's what they had. But looking at everyone else's cleats they had, there's like actual tread on the bottom of them to like get grip in this. And like, I can't make a cut if you have a slick shoe. It just, it's annoying. Anyway, I could rant about that for a while. I'm mad at my shoes.
This position here makes me sad. So right here we can see I'm not paying much attention. Matt's not paying much attention. Palms is telling Elizabeth something, so we'll give them a pass. But we're bunched up and they're bunched up. There is no real reason why I'm not booking it upfield as hard as I can right now. And we need to be more active here because TJ's looking up like what's happening because it looks like we're just kind of chatting or like West Side Story clicking at each other. So yeah, so especially right here as the X, I don't want to throw the blame at Map here, but as the X, be less attentive to what's going on behind you. In this case here, if you just make eye contact with TJ, you have a free cut here or a free cut behind if you want it. So that's something to pay attention to from the X, because you're not really, you're the one that everyone else is setting up on, but you're not the one that shouldn't be the one necessarily directing traffic as far as that goes.
Right.
I think Palms
casual because I as the X, when I play as X, I assume that the people in the back of the stack are going to make the cuts. So I'm not typically looking until a cut or two's happened and then nothing happens there. But at this point, with the short stall count, I should be keeping an eye on the handler because you're right. That throw is wide open for me.
Yeah, especially as the X, don't bother looking upfield like that. You just don't need it. So you have those undercuts there. I think at this point Palms is looking at me like, Mark, are you gonna cut or something? And I was like, oh, I guess I'll cut into the other team. That seems like a good idea, a good use of their resources, which I got open, which is nice, but I definitely could have done that a lot better. I made that really hard on myself. Yeah, I thought that he was gonna come back. I need to be more confident with my throws because once again, I owe Elizabeth a throw because that she was open. I just didn't throw it, and it's I did it to other people too that were off camera. I remember thinking after the game, I just need to do better. I just didn't play that great this game as far as that goes. I didn't get a good look at what happened there, but rip. Yep, and then the con of throwing a hammer is that they're a lot harder to catch. And also that was a cross traffic. I don't know if anybody was making a cut back for him. Maybe not. That might have been why he did that. That might have been a desperation. Yeah, right here, I have no idea what was going on inside of my head. Aaron's like, hey, let's switch back. And I was like, I'm going to take forever to recognize that we need to switch back. And then I think we finally did. It was a common theme. I spent a lot of time in the last video dogging on myself, but I was just responding really slow to things. So that's a me problem. I'll fix that. But that was good defense downfield by Aaron and Palms. So good for them. Yep, so I finally make the cut back. It's good. Yeah, these were just open. Right here, if you wanted, Matt, you could have made your cut a little earlier. Right here.
I think you look at my eyes. I don't even look at him. As soon as I look at him and see he's open, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go. I was looking upfield to see if anyone was there cutting deep. I don't know if I knew where the disc was. I don't remember exactly what happening there, but you're right. As soon as my eyes hit his, I'm like, oh shit, I'm open. I just book it, but it's too late. He's already looking off. He's already.
I'll throw some respect on your name. I dogged on you when you didn't finish that cut over here. You finished this cut and it actually saved the possession because I made this clear cut for it. Pat decided he was not going to have that and took that away. And you finished that cut and you got the wide open throw then. So good for you on that. I was just standing there, and this is the time. I don't want to keep referencing this last time I recorded like it's an inside joke, but this right here is a perfect example of what I need to stop doing to open our offense up. I sat here as if this is club with 7 on the field. What I need to do is clear. I need to clear as fast as I can because Palms is ready to make this under. And especially because I'm mismatched here. He's a beast, but he's not as fast as me. That's like the one thing I have. So like I need to just go like right around everybody and just get open. It would have been a free score. Instead, I sat in the space. So by the time you were looking at me then, which that was open, a little scary, but it was open, but it was completely unnecessary. Palms would have been all over that. And that was just me making a cut out, and my momentum was out, and I couldn't get there in time. And that throw was just nasty. I don't even want to talk about that. That was a rip. Yep. And then right here, this is the point where things were starting to get a little scary as far as our offense goes. We're not really settling into any kind of vert at all. We're all over. Elizabeth is open on this side of the field. It's just no one was there, which ironically, she actually did get open, to her credit. Making the cut now is good. So right now she has her decision point if she wants to make another clear and go out, or continue with this guy being here. That's why the throw didn't come up the first time. Right now, if she wanted, she could actually just put on the brakes and come back for another breakside catch. But she already committed to clearing, which is good. We've been telling people, hey, clear, 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 clear. So when she cleared, I don't want to say she did anything wrong there. She does a good job of getting open. I think a lot of times it's just the poaches and stuff that are getting in the way. So that'll fix itself with time pretty quick. Oh, that hand scared me. Yeah.
All right, I'm back. I had someone at my front door. Did I miss the part where I fell and dropped the disc?
No, that's coming up, baby.
Coming up. All right.
This was a case where Aaron got screwed by all of us. We just weren't setting up a defense. And we're like, Aaron, you can guard Allison by yourself for like 30 seconds, right? And no, I mean, there's only a few people on our team, like including the guys that can guard Allison on an island for 30 seconds. So
She really leveled up, especially over like just how much she's grown since the beginning of like summer league, spring league, whatever that was. It's crazy. She's really studied the game in the last
she's
months.
A beast. Like, I mean, I can guard her one-on-one just because I have an incredible athletic advantage, and I'm 100% taking advantage of that. She's definitely a better cutter than I am, and it feels bad.
I would say her knowledge of the game is just it's awesome to just how much it's grown in the past 6 months or so.
Yep. So right now, yeah, I agree with you. Right now, our stack is way over here, and so we need a little bit of action here to get things moving. It was a good cut by Elizabeth. Again, this is one of those we were talking about after the game. She made a really good cut here. She crossed his face, she got open, and then she was just hesitating. She wasn't sure if that was the right cut, so she was kind of pulling up. But that was a great cut by Elizabeth. She read the open space in that case, and good for her. So next game, I told her, get some confidence in there. Get exposed by Allison, Matt. Allison does it to people, though. Yeah, so right here, this is a case of just, I think Elizabeth got her eyes upfield. Eyes upfield, and then lost track of him. And then this guy was just being a beast. Oh, I got in there. I don't think he would have caught it anyway. I ran full into that wall. I think at like 27 minutes or 33 minutes, I eat that wall so hard. And this is it. I'm trying to look around this, dude. I can literally see nothing. It was horrible. I couldn't even see TJ until like right there. That guy called an injury. Hopefully, I guess no. He ended up getting like a full horizontal D. Like, he's a beast. There you go. Yeah. So whenever that guy's guarding me, that height difference makes me sad. I should have turned around right back for that. There's no reason why I didn't make a cut there. I was cutting lackadaisical the whole game. So right here, I made a cut. The reason I made this cut is because I saw that Pat was watching me, and I was like, if two people are going to guard me, yeah, I'll do that because someone's poached, which in this case it was just palms. They weren't putting a mark up. That was open for that, but that was not a throw that I would recommend because I'm short. So I agree with the holster.
Again, dude's 9 foot tall. I don't think he could really see you over there.
Yep. I went all the way around though, which is for once. Yep. That is the type of handler cuts that I need to be doing the whole game. And I'm not trying to just like toot my own horn, but like this is just by accident, and I don't do this very much. But when we get our handler out of there, just like TJ was saying. Give TJ the props here. This is his leadership here. But when the handler's out, you can come back into that space. Actually, Matt was open too. I think he just thought he could gain excuse me, a little more by throwing to me just by position. But yeah, you were open too, Matt. So good job.
Based on your positioning, now we have more of the field to play at, so it's the right play.
Yep, that throw was just a chemistry throw between me and TJ. Elizabeth was open there, and if I didn't see TJ making that cut and knew like 100% that was open, Elizabeth would have gotten the disc there. So feel bad. Oh, ooh, zooming in. All right, cool. Yeah, but I feel bad for Elizabeth. I feel like I've been saying that about Elizabeth this whole game. But yeah, she's making good cuts. She just needs, with a little bit more confidence, she's gonna start blowing this thing up. Good job, Matt. Look at that. Look at that hand. Good job. I don't know if there's anything too noteworthy. It's kind of hard to see what's going on. And their offense is very freeform. But yeah, no, that was just you wanting the disc more than him. Good job. All right, we did a great job here getting right into our stack. Like the offense that I think we should be doing, the 4-man stack here. I like how this is looking. I made a cut early. I had zero conviction on that cut. I'm not going to rewind and show it because I didn't need to, but I had zero conviction on that cut, and that was my bad. That was just an errant throw. But yeah, because you had that separation. Yeah, if that was a harder throw that led you out, like, you know,
right, if we were placed further downfield, I was ready for the deep throw, but I think that was just placed a little. That's fine.
Yep. Yeah, and Elizabeth was coming up for that follow up. Good for her too. Yep. So right here, I guess I haven't drawn this for a little bit. This is the force, so this would be our break side, and then this here is our open side. So we don't want cuts going here.
When he's that tall, he can really. It's hard to stop a break side throw when there's that much of a height difference. He's a full head and a half taller. You can kind of reach above and throw wherever you want to throw.
Yep. So this is a case of me almost making it happen. When I'm guarding Pat, I have to play on top of him because I'm short. It's just genetic lottery. So when I talked about earlier in the video, a strike is when you are starting about even or slightly in front of the mark, and then you come behind them into that open space because a throw is going to come up for free, and you gain yards with power. And this is a case where I did not take advantage of that and stop it. I almost got there, but if I would have actually made an athletic play, I would have stopped it, but I didn't, so I didn't. I definitely, I 100% could have stopped that. If there is a play you can do, and this might be a little bit more advanced than what is I really need to talk about here, but there is a play called a roll, where as I'm coming up, I yell roll, 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 in which case Matt would abandon his mark and come up and clog the space, and I would come up and become the new mark, and we would just switch to take this away. But honestly, if I would have just sprinted or bid or done anything other than jog sluggishly, I would have gotten a D there. So that was just me having an off night. Oh, look at that mark by Elizabeth. Active mark by Elizabeth. I actually really like to see that. Yeah, really, really good mark. Really good. Good job holding the force too. It was a break side throw, but it was a break side throw kind of behind, and especially right in front of the end zone. That's totally fine. I will definitely live with that. That was a kind of a scary collision there, wasn't it?
Yes.
I'm setting the stack. I don't know why I'm setting the stack. I did not need to be setting the stack. I should have just been going to the back of the stack. That's a me problem. Disc is in. Yeah, good cut by... Is that me? Is that me? Okay, I don't mean to do my horn. Yeah, good cut there for getting open. Bad throw. Good catch. And yeah, a lot of match throws were high and behind, but that was a great cut by Palms as well. And right here is an example of what we did a couple times. So I'm doing more of a straight up mark on him because I don't want him to throw deep. And there's really not too much of a threat to this side of the field anyway.
Oh, yeah, look at where Matt and I are
Yeah.
both set up where there's nothing. There's no lanes to be cut to.
Yep. So
Except drop. We have
Matt's
triangle
coming
kind
up
of going on.
and blocking this lane, conceding this throw here, saying, "Go ahead and throw it. I want you to, because you're going to gain yards on it, and we're going to be able to set up quickly." And Allison trips, so good. But yeah, so that was something we did, just working together. And then this nasty hammer. Hammer's nasty by Palms. Dude, Palms is a freaking animal. And then that's the end of the first half, which I'm going to make this its own video just because it's been like...
I think we're an hour plus.
Yeah. So, anyway, I think the moral of the story from the first half was just some chemistry issues that we can definitely work through. So I'm going to stop it here, and then we can do the second half if we want. So...